When you think of Delhi, you probably think of this. And not this. But let me tell you, both of them are parts of this territory. Right on the fringes of South Delhi, you will find the Asola Bhatti Wildlife Sanctuary, which after recent research has proven to be an incredibly biodiverse hotspot on the edge of this massively urbanized hub. Today I'm at the Asola Bhatti Wildlife Sanctuary and I'm going to be joined by Sohail Madan. He is the Centre Manager and also the Assistant Director at the Bombay Natural History Society. He's going to be showing me around this reserve to see how this illegal mining site has turned into a biodiverse and wildlife hotspot right here on the edge of Delhi. Into the sanctuary now, but can you give us a little bit of a back history about the sanctuary, because now it looks like a very forested area. But prior to this was not what it was like.
Yes, this originally is a mining site. They used to mine quartzite rock here. It's a building material. In the 1990s, through court intervention, Supreme Court intervention, the mining was banned. And at that time, the area was notified as a sanctuary, which gives us better legal protection. And since then, the Department of Forest and Wildlife, Delhi, has been managing the area. I am from BNHS, Bombay Natural History Society, and we have been here since 2004.
Yeah.
And we help the department in three ways. One is monitoring the work that is happening here. Second, active conservation planning, as in restoration of the area.
Yeah.
And third, we are the public interface. We run citizen science programs and nature walks, people coming to schools.
And this area is comparable to the size of?
New Delhi.
Of New Delhi.
Yeah.
So that's actually a really crazy fact that you have this green patch on the edge of Delhi that is the size of New Delhi. And actually when I was driving down here, the contrast is extremely big. So you're going from the super urbanized area, lots of traffic, lots of things going on, and all of a sudden you're here in this like green patch. It's really, really special. On our way now to the camera traps to go and reset some batteries, because one great thing that has come with reforesting this area is that there is a lot of wildlife here, and not many people know what type of wildlife is here. A lot of people think that it's just birds and stuff like that, but there are also some large mammals here, but I won't give away too much just yet. You guys will see in a bit. The crazy thing, as we look out into the wilderness, most of this is all reforested area, which is absolutely insane. You can just imagine how stark this would have looked like if it didn't have all this forest here.
Yeah, he's coming here. He's going to cross the road. Cross.
Well guys, there was the first wildlife sighting, a beautiful little golden jackal. This is probably one of the craziest views I've seen. Here you have the beautiful Asola Bhatti Wildlife Reserve, and in the background you can see the big buildings out of Delhi.
That's not for the animal.
Well, we've arrived at the first site with the first camera trap. What type of animals have you guys seen on the camera traps?
So basically our study is focusing on leopards and striped hyenas. But apart from that, of course the camera trap catches everything. So we have sambar deer, cheetal deer, nilgais, hog deer, of course the rhesus macaque. We have 2 types of civets. We have 3 types of mongoose. So there's about a list of 26 odd
different species. But you guys have been able to identify 8 leopards, right?
Yeah. And probably 6 hyenas. We're working on it. But we've identified 8 leopards, 6 males, 2 females.
2 females.
And the good news is that both of the females have a litter at this moment.
Of cubs.
So 4 of the cubs and 8 of these things. So we have 12 now.
The Asola Bhatti is connected all the way down through different reserves down to the Jalana Leopard Reserve near Jaipur, which is about a 4 or 5 hour drive from Delhi. And this whole part is super interconnected, and it's very important because what Sohail was saying is that, they maybe have seen 8 leopards in the cubs, but there are probably more because they are able to migrate along this stretch of land. But that's why it's also very important to protect and create more of these type of areas, because it allows more leopards and different species to migrate to different habitats. So we've just got jackals peeing in multiple images.
Battery is 75%.
This is the test.
He's the leopard for us.
He's the leopard.
So, whenever we are on 4 limbs, so it's equal. We are almost equal to the size of the leopard. So we see that the sensor is working and everything is working at that height.
Yeah.
So that's why we walk like that in front of the camera.
To make sure that it will capture. Batteries have been replaced. It can go another round, and hopefully they can catch some leopards on the next round of footage.
You see the dense forest?
Yeah.
That is the old growth forest from this area.
So this is the original.
Yeah, that's how dense it's supposed to be.
So as I told you guys in the introduction, this used to actually be an old illegal mining site, and what they were mining is basically this red sand here, and this is one of the old mining pits. And what Sohail was telling me is that this is now a breeding ground for the Indian eagle owl, which apparently is a very, very big owl. But this is crazy. So this used to all just be excavation site, whereas now it is, well, it's green and it's the home to a very important breeding ground. So I think that this already shows like the benefits of having green zones and protecting green zones, because it is so important for the biodiversity. Wow.
Okay, I got few record shots.
So what just happened is we saw a black eagle fly across, and apparently this is a very rare bird. So the guys are very excited and one of them has seen it for the first time here. So we're just going to see if we can actually get some more shots of it.
This is a rare eagle for this area.
Yeah.
Last year in our raptor survey, we found out that it was staying here for 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah, but this year, this is the first sighting of it.
No, we got a little surprise here. Hi, you puppies.
Territory, and they're acting as seed dispersal agents. So all of these are filled with seeds.
Yeah, so wildlife and animals and everything, even though they're beautiful, everybody has a function in the ecosystem. So it's just really cool to see how the poop is so filled with seeds, because this just makes sure that the plants get dispersed even more throughout this area.
So beyond this wall is city.
Beyond the city? Oh my, wow.
So we are on that side, we were on Haryana side.
Yeah.
Delhi.
This is Delhi.
Yeah, so I can get to my house.
Sure. Put it into perspective for you. Here you have a camera trap that has trapped leopards, cubs and all of that, and here is the boundary wall, which means behind this is city. So you've got this 2 habitats, human habitat and wildlife habitat, so close together. Porcupine, civet.
Nice.
Oh, leopard, here we go. And this was on the 23rd?
Yeah.
This was last night.
Yeah. Today is 25th, right?
25th? Yeah. Oh, 2 nights ago.
2 nights ago. And that is what time? It's 2:52. Jungle नहीं है, वो feral cat है या कोई अलग है कुछ पता नहीं यार. Cats are very suspicious here. So we're looking for a Asiatic wild cat.
But do you know if these were... hyena! Wow! That is so insane, man.
It is a female.
So many leopard.
It's the same night, huh? Go on and come back.
But these are different individuals that we're seeing on here.
I think we have 3, till now identified 3.
Yeah, well, I think it's really cool that we got to see the camera trap footage because you can see the absolute diversity of animals that are coming out. 2 species of civets, hyenas, a leopard, porcupines, everything is passing through here, including just 2 humans and some cows, which I think is quite surprising because if you've got a boundary so close to the city, you would expect that there would be more human interaction, but there has not been any, it's just been wildlife. So I think that is a really cool sign that they are doing their thing over here and that they were able to capture some very impressive footage.
Nothing more than that.
Okay, so for me it's really exciting to be out here and see how wildlife is thriving in this area, coming back to this area, because in the end we are co-inhabitants of this earth with so many other species, and it's going to be also very essential for our survival if many other species and ecosystems survive as well. Now, unfortunately, something that is not only happening in India but that is happening around the world is that these natural spaces are given up for urbanization, for projects to do with, roads, shopping malls, stuff like this. And that is actually quite sad because with roads we're fragmenting or, secluding certain areas, which means that populations can't healthily thrive, create new populations. And also, we're destroying a lot of the habitat that is necessary to sustain these animals. And in the end, if we don't have places like this, we won't survive. And it's really hard sometimes to connect people with wildlife because it's something that they don't know a lot about, or because you've also got human-animal conflict in some border zones of reserves around the world. And of course this is also understandable, but we're going to have to find ways together to look after these places and create more of them, because we can't live with just buildings. We're going to need to have other co-inhabitants and green spaces like this. Also, what I'm noticing very differently compared to in Delhi itself is the air quality. For the last 2 days, 3 days, I've been having a bit of a tickle in my throat and coughing quite a bit. And the pollution of the air quality in Delhi is actually really bad. But when I'm out here, I haven't been noticing it as much. And this is also why it is so important to have more areas like this, because they are extremely important to break up the pollution, as well as, give some sort of escape from the very hustle and bustle life in the city. But this must also have been mining, no? Extraction? Mining?
Exactly.
Because I can see the redness. This is a hole they dug up.
Yeah.
With the mine.
Till they reach the water table.
So they reached the water level?
Yeah, water table.
What? So, but the water was here under the surface.
So that is character of Aravallis. It's really clean water. What happens is when it rains, it's filtered through the plants, sand and stone.
Yeah.
Goes all the way below, and there are these ancient aquifers.
What?
Which connect. 60% of Delhi and Gurgaon's water comes
from under the ground. During the summer months, this is actually a very important water source for animals in the reserve, but they also channel water to other check dams, to watering holes throughout the reserve, so that animals can actually access water in different parts of the reserve. But you can just imagine with the boiling heat that happens here in Delhi during the summer that this is going to be a very good thirst quencher for many animals. What is also really cool about Asola Bhatti is that they are, recorded here 252 species of birds, and then also besides that they have healthy population of various insects such as butterflies. And actually one cool way of getting people involved with this is they have community-led surveys. So they actually survey birds and butterflies and dragonflies in the area to see, what type of species they can find, how healthy they are. And then another thing that is really cool is that you have the Delhi Butterfly Corridor project, and this is actually a project that goes throughout Delhi, and it helps butterflies to connect a migratory route throughout the city, which is very important because in cities we often only have buildings and stuff like this, and it's very important to allow insects and stuff like that to migrate as well, because they also have extremely important functions. Was a monkey that moved it. Oh my word. So why you're seeing people on this camera trap footage is because you actually have hiking and biking trails throughout Asola Bhatti, which I think is also really cool because that way you can come out here and enjoy nature a bit away from the city. So I definitely think that's a cool way to get people in a good mental health, because nature is good for our mental health, and enjoy this natural world. Okay, so what you actually see behind me here is settlement, and I thought this is just another village, but this is actually still the wildlife sanctuary. This is forest, and this has been illegally encroached on, so you can already see how much pressure there is on the habitats of certain wildlife, or a lot of wildlife, because of human encroachment and urbanization. Oh my gosh, monkeys, cows and dogs all in the same picture.
Monkeys. The monkeys are troubling the dogs and the cows. So the dog is for the cows.
And the monkey's troubling them.
Monkey's troubling.
We have made it to the DSLR setup. So the other camera traps were the regular camera traps. These ones are very, very high quality. So let's go check out the setup. But this is just like an actual DSLR camera.
Yeah.
In there.
Inside, and that's the sensor.
And that's a sensor. And then here we have the flash.
Battery is gone, flash.
Oh. What are you guys actually able to do with this data that you're collecting?
So we get to know the number of leopards, individuals. We get to know home range. We get to know the movement of these leopards.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff that can be found.
Yeah, because also what the guys were telling me is that maybe a year or 2 years ago, when you said that there were leopards in Delhi, people were very skeptical, and now they have been able to actually identify quite a few individuals and prove that there are leopards in this region, which could also give more power to try and protect them, I think, because if you don't know if there's a leopard in the region, why would you protect it, whereas now they can actually showcase that there are leopards and other species of animals in this area, so that gives a little bit more of a driving force. Oh, striped hyena.
22 का hyena.
Okay, so we're actually going to be leaving the forested area now to go onto the Haryana highway, or the main road on the Haryana side of this forested area. And this place is actually quite problematic because of the high speed and high density of vehicles that are going there. Many animals get killed on this road. Leopards, hyenas, jungle cats, everything gets hit by cars. So you can understand why a road like that next to an area like this is extremely problematic. But I'll show you guys the highway once we get onto it. I first of all want to enjoy the last little view of the green area that we're going to be driving through.
Just imagine this road.
Can you just imagine being an animal trying to cross this?
I I can't cross it.
And then you got the next side. Ooh.
Yeah.
One way to help wildlife cross busy roads like this is by building adequate wildlife crossings that allow both traffic and wildlife to use the area without bumping into each other. This includes wildlife bridges and wildlife tunnels that are specifically designed to give safe passage to wildlife along busy roads. So even though this video I still think is going to be a positive one because you do have a protected area and we can see that wildlife is thriving, there are many elements in the story that are absolutely breaking my heart. And one part of it is the side that is not protected, which is on my left side, where the idea is potentially to build a safari park with caged animals in an area that is a very important wildlife corridor that connects this place to, you know, the other forested areas while actual wildlife can migrate. And it just makes me sad to think, you know, that one day the only way that people are going to be able to see animals is if we're looking at them in zoos and in cages. We have made it back to where we started, and that is the entrance and the nursery. So as you can see here, these are all baby native trees and plants, and these are actually used to reforest and plant in the reserve. So I think that is really cool because basically this is where the plant cycle starts, and this is almost where the video is ending. Seeing what Sohail from BNHS and his team are doing in the Asola Bhatti Wildlife Sanctuary definitely gives hope. Where just 2 years ago no one thought there were leopards here, now they can prove that there are multiple leopards, striped hyenas and many other species. With this information they hope to keep this area protected and guarantee a safe space for this incredible wildlife.